Good morning and welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. And a very good morning from everyone here at Prime Sports World. Brady, got a lot of background noise there, my friend. Anyways, I'm David Huffman, host of Prime Sports World. Right there is my former co-host and next star co-host employee, Mr. Brady Calhoun. Welcome into the show. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Brady, can you hear me?
David, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, my friend.
I'm trying to. Let's see if it'll work.
Is that working?
Yeah, oh, that works. There it is.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show, man. First time here on Prime Sports World. I just want to introduce yourself a little bit so the people know who you are.
I'm an old man and a wrestling fan. I don't know what to tell you, man. You know, I'm almost dust and bones. I once saw Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes in the Omni in Atlanta. That's how old I am. All right.
I'm getting up there in age too, so I'm getting to the point where all my coworkers are all like 20, like fresh out of college. I was like, man, I'm feeling like the crypt keeper right now.
Yeah. That will happen, my friend. That will happen.
Yeah, it's getting real. But we're here to break down the 2025 Royal Rumble preview. Fun fact, me and Brady are actually going to the Royal Rumble. I've never been to a Big Four pay-per-view, so I'm really hyped for this. So let's get it, buddy.
I'm super excited, man. I can't wait. It's going to be... it's I think it's sold out already, and it's like
70. It's gonna be 75,000 people in that place.
Oh gosh! So you haven't been to a Big Four? I was at I like to call it the Daniel Bryan WrestleMania.
Yep.
And when that crowd roars, there's nothing like it, man. You can't imagine just how like your whole body just shakes. You know, it's awesome.
That's crazy. So I'm actually sort of good friends, or I was supposed to say good friends. I'm just friends with the guys who wrote Cody Rhodes' song.
Cool.
So yeah, I interviewed them as part of my position outside of this Prime Sports World stuff, and I texted them like, "Hey, are you guys going to be at the Royal Rumble?" They're unfortunately not. They're going to be, but they are at the Chris Jericho like boat wrestling tour thing that he does on this time of year. So. Also, full disclosure, I'm a little disappointed that we only got 4 matches. I know 2 or 3 of them are going to be like an hour long, but I was hoping that I could see like an Intercontinental match on here, or like even a U.S. Championship match on here. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Other than the 2 Royal Rumbles and the Cody Rhodes match, what's the other match?
It's they got one of the tag team titles around the line. It's the Motor City Machine Guns and DIY who currently have that title going head to head.
Wow.
Yeah, so they don't have the other tag team titles on this card. I gotta be frank with you, I'm not even sure who has that set of titles right now. So
you know what? Well, it's the
I think it's the Viking Raiders and the War Raiders. Yeah, but
what are we calling them these days? Just the
Raiders? I think they're the War Raiders back to the War Raiders again.
All right, fair enough.
Let's get into the card. Let's talk first about the Women's Royal Rumble. Let's talk about first who do you think comes out at 1 and who do you think comes out at 30?
Let's see. Bianca Belair comes out at 1.
Okay.
That would be my guess. And what's her name? How are you going to ask me people's names and I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I'm the worst person to actually do a podcast with you.
No. I'm sure there's certainly worse people. I promise you that.
Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair will come out at 30.
I'm going. So I think the Charlotte Flair thing would have made a lot more sense if they hadn't already kind of spoiled her return for her to come back at 30. Sure. I got her at 1. I think Charlotte Flair is coming out at number 1, and I got Becky Lynch at 30.
Oh, I definitely could see Becky Lynch at 30.
Because Becky Lynch has been out for. I'm not even sure. Last time I saw it was it at Mania. Was that the last time she was on TV?
Oh yeah, I think so. It's been forever.
Yeah, so like I think bringing her back at 30. I've also seen a bunch of rumors online that it could be Charlotte Flair at 1 and Becky Lynch at 30, which I also would not hate that either. I think Becky Lynch is going to come out at 30. That's my prediction. Let's talk about Final Four. Who do you think is going to be the winner?
Um, well, I think your Charlotte at 1 makes perfect sense to me, and I think she lasts all the way to the Final 4. She does kinda what her dad did, right, in,
Yeah.
one of these Royal Rumbles where he's an Iron Man and lasted. I don't think he came out at 1, but he came out early and was there for the longest amount of time for a long time. And, if Becky's in it, she's in the Final 4. I would say, I don't know, Bailey and Bianca, right? I mean, who else is in that top 4 category with those ladies?
Yeah, I got all the same guys, people are women except for one. I got Io Sky flipping out for Bailey. I think that she's been pushed pretty heavily on regular television. Also, she's a former champion. She's a former Money in the Bank winner. I think that I also think that she can eliminate Bailey and like we can redo that feud from last year.
Sure.
So yeah, my final 4, I got Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Becky Lynch, and Bianca Belair, and I got Bianca Belair winning the whole thing. Last year they kind of teased that Rhea Bianca Belair match at Mania, right after Mania, and it just never really materialized because they kind of moved them in different areas of the card. But I want to see that match this year, Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley at Mania. I think that would be a banger, and I don't think that Bianca would. I don't think anything would happen to her if she were to lose that match. If Rhea were to
No.
win that, like they would both standing would be fine. Also, Bianca Belair would become the first woman to win a second Royal Rumble in the history of the company. I just think that's a good feather for Bianca to have in her hat. And I think she needs to move out of the tag team division. I think her talent's being wasted there. No offense to
Oh,
anyone else in
I
that.
absolutely agree. She really should be holding one of those titles or chasing one of those titles most of the time.
Yeah, I agree with you. So
She's a phenomenal talent.
who do you got winning it?
I well, if Vince were still around,
Yeah.
I would say Charlotte's going to win the thing. Without Vince around, I think you're right on. I think Bianca wins the thing. You know,
Yeah.
so that makes a lot of sense to me. You know, they bring Becky back at 30 like that, like you're talking about. Um, I don't. That seems like a waste to bring her back and then not have her win it. But
I mean,
I
yeah,
would,
but
I would.
she could still have a good
But she
showing in
doesn't
that way.
need it, right?
Yeah,
So
she could still have a good showing, and like I'm not sure exactly what like she can go after one of the other titles. Like she can go after Intercontinental, she can go after like the U.S.
yeah,
title at Mania. Like she can still have I think she could have a good showing and just not win the Rumble.
she
Just some
can she
straight
can elimination chamber it. Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
I see that.
some straight thoughts. Yeah, I think the Charlotte Flair thing is just super obvious. I think that she's become the overwhelming favorite to win this, and I think the wrestling as a whole enjoys is a little bit of a swerve. She could also
Hmm.
win the chamber as well. Just some surprise returns. So I got 5 of them for you in the women's match. Let me see what you think about these. Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, Jordan Grace. I don't know if that even counts as a surprise return at this point because she's been in the
Yeah.
last 2 Royal Rumbles. And then Jade Cargill I have returning and exposing Naomi for attacking her earlier this year. We can kind of do that feud moving forward. Probably have their blow off match at Mania.
Yeah. Absolutely. I can't think of anybody that I would think at this point that I'm like super excited to see other than maybe Becky. So I can't think of anybody off the top of my head is like, oh, they're going to return. So I'll go with yours. Sounds good.
I think there's also like an AJ Lee potential, but I feel like that's been like teased so much over the years that I've become like the boy who cried wolf at this point. Like when AJ Lee when I hear AJ Lee's music pop, that's what I'll get excited about because I just don't think she's gonna wrestle ever again. Like I just think she's
Yeah, and I think that um I don't think she wants it. It doesn't sound to me from what you hear from the outside that she's just chomping at the bit to go do the whole thing again. He came back, so everybody comes back eventually, but I'd be really surprised if she actually they
I just
haven't
yeah I
they
just
haven't hinted at her, you know what I mean? They haven't done anything like
well CM
that
Punk
I
did
can
make
think of.
a tiny hint to it on yesterday, I think it was actually. So I just don't think she's gonna
but
wrestle again.
you know him. He's just trolling people.
I know. Yeah, I know. Swinging in from there, let's talk about the WWE Tag Team Championship match. We got DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa going up against the Motor City Machine Guns. Was it Duke Shelley and or Alex Shelley? And man, that other guy's name is totally escaping me right now. But it's a 2 out of 3 falls match, tag team title match. Who do you got winning this?
I would guess that the Motor City Machine Guns are going to win it, but I would also say that I think DIY is my favorite current tag team, and so I'll be sad if they don't win it. But to me, they've built it like it's the Machine Guns all the way, you know.
Yeah.
And
what is
what is
the other guy's name? That's gonna.
Really I don't know. Oh, I don't know that I have ever. Because I mostly watch the pay-per-views and sometimes watch the shows. You know.
Yeah. So it's Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin are those two guys.
I don't know that I've ever seen the Motor City Machine Guns wrestle. So
they're real good. Like they basically, so they were on TNA for a real long time, and then they basically got called up to the main roster. They basically got signed by WWE, went to the main roster immediately. They won the tag team titles in their first month of being in the company.
Wow.
And then they got kind of screwed over by DIY as they were kind of going into their heel tag team phase.
Sure.
And then so this is kind of their blow off match because they. I think they originally beat DIY, and then they kind of split the match. So this is kind of their final three matches of the trilogy here. I actually think Motor City Machine Guns are going to win. They're from Detroit, which is only like about 4 hours from Indianapolis, give or take, an hour or so. And I think when you have a new talent on here, I think you want to put them in a main stage. I think you want to put them in a big moment. So yeah, I think Motor City Machine Guns are gonna retain or take the title back. But I do think the WWE divisions as a tag team, both of those sides, they both need a freshen up because they're just not where they need to be right now at all. I feel the same way about AEW's tag team too. Who even has those trios titles in AEW right now? Do you have any idea?
My phone cut out for a minute, so I lost you. But no, I have no idea who has the trios titles in AEW.
Yeah,
now that AEW's on, I just didn't have cable for a while, right?
I don't have cable right now. So.
I was saving money, so I wasn't watching AEW. But now that they're on Max, I'm probably start trying to watch the pay-per-views and the shows again. But just observing it from the outside, I have no idea who's holding that. I don't know. I catch the MJF segments, right? Like that's the extent of my AEW watching. What's MJF doing?
Him and Jeff Jarrett about the Triple J about to go at it.
Well, and that guy has never. Never mind. I don't want to say something bad about somebody. Anyway, MJF, man, I looking forward to what he does or is doing or is going to do next. When he has his next match, I'll try and find it. Sorry.
Undisputed WWE Championship ladder match. We have the champion, Cody Rhodes, going up against the challenger, Kevin Owens. And there's no chance in hell that Cody Rhodes drops this title, right? There's no chance in hell.
And don't you feel bad do you feel bad for Kevin Owens, or do you
No,
say to yourself, he's
in the main event scene of a top tier wrestling company? No, I don't feel bad.
Okay, fair enough. But he is the guy who has become the guy who loses at the Royal Rumble championship match, right? Like he's that guy. He's the guy that will they ever let him have the title, one of the titles again? Like
I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know. But he's so good. His character development is so good. Like he can lose. Like Kevin Owens is one of those guys. Like eventually it's going to catch up to the WWE. Like they can't continue to have Kevin Owens lose matches like this. Like he's going to fall into like Cesaro territory where he's so good on the mic and he's so good like in the ring that you could just have him lose matches and nobody seems to care. Like they're like, oh, it's still Kevin Owens. We're still going to get hype for him. even though he always loses. But
his
I think this,
promos are amazing. Like he's one of the best guys on the mic they've got. I mean, there's no, and you're right. Like it's like feeling bad for Dolph Ziggler, right? Like don't feel bad
yeah,
for a guy who made tons of money and was a top guy in the company for a long time. Like I get it, but at the same time, like oh, when I saw that was the match, I was like, oh man, I I want better things for him. You know, him wearing that shirt that said Cody sucks eggs. Oh, so good. You know, because that's a reference to
Dusty
uh
Rhodes, I think.
Dusty sucks
Yeah,
eggs. Yeah. Just
yeah,
so
yeah. I
good.
think I think it's a reference to and he just passed away. Terry Funk, right?
Yep. Yeah. Terry Funk wore that.
Yeah,
And he did something else. I mean, he's just one of those guys that like since he showed up in NXT, like every time he does anything, I'm like, oh, what's he doing?
yeah. I
You
feel the
know?
same way about Kevin Owens. But yeah, eventually, like I do think that this is like gonna be one of those matches where he's like about to win, and I
Yeah.
think that there's gonna be a lot of shenanigans. It's a ladder match. You can push your shenanigans buttons. This match is also it's gonna be an hour long. Like I don't know if you're ready for that.
Yeah. Oh,
It's gonna be an hour long. Like this is gonna be an hour
well,
long match.
and Cody is kind of he's in that not quite Hogan territory, but where he's a baby face, but he kind of wrestles like a heel. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow, Kevin just gets screwed out of it, right?
Yeah,
So
so if you read my prediction blog that will be coming out later today, shameless plug for myself. I think Sami Zayn is going to cost Kevin Owens the title, and I think they're going to build towards that at Mania because I want to see because I think the chemistry between those two guys. I don't know, I can't remember if that match has already been done at Mania or not. But
yeah.
those two guys, they come from the indie scene, and like for them to like finally headline or not headline, have a match at WrestleMania, I think that'd be a career-defining moment for these two guys. And I think you're going to have
Kevin and who?
Sami Zayn.
Oh yeah, they're definitely hinting at that.
Yeah, and I also think there's some like Randy Orton return stuff here too,
Mm-hmm.
potentially. Like I think you could have Randy Orton return and try to take down Cody Rhodes a little bit, and he can be like the mini feud in between the Rumble and Mania. Because they've been hitting at that for a real long time too. I mean, I thought we were going to do that at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and you just never know how healthy or unhealthy people are, right?
Yeah.
So, but I
But
I look forward to seeing it for sure.
that should be an absolute banger of a match, though. I
Uh,
cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. Like if I especially think Sami Zayn is going to screw over Kevin Owens. I think that's going to be a thing
that'd
because
be nice,
because
for once.
they've really kind of been hinting at this because over the last couple of weeks with Cody, like Sami Zayn accidentally attacking or accidentally hitting Seth Rollins with the hula kick and then accidentally
Yeah.
hitting Cody Rhodes with the hula kick in back-to-back weeks. Like for him to kind of redeem himself a little bit, be like, yeah, I'm still a good guy. Like I'm not like this fringe, like good guy, bad guy kind of thing. Like I think they're going to establish him as like a for sure face.
Yeah. Well, and I will just be amused if that's what happens because of all the times that Kevin is,
Yeah.
screwed
Yep.
over Sammy. If
Yeah. So
anybody deserves it from Sammy, it's Kevin, right? So
look,
that will be fun.
swinging into the men's Royal Rumble match, and we're gonna talk first and 30. Who do you got at 1 and who do you got at 30?
Oh man, I should have thought about this before I came on your podcast because I have no idea who I would think. I would think okay, well, I think someone from the bloodline, maybe The Rock, not The Rock, Roman Reigns comes in at number 1. I think The Rock comes in at 30. And I I think it's all bloodline all the time, when it comes to this. So we'll see what they do.
I'm gonna go. I just because I think it'd be fun for this person to come out at number 1. Dominic
Yeah.
Mysterio. I think Dominic Mysterio is going to be number one. I
You
think
think Rey Mysterio is going to be number one?
Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, Dominic.
Yeah, him and his mustache coming out at number one, like the booing and like this stuff. Like, it was so funny. Like people are all hyped for the Royal Rumble match, and then Dominic Mysterio is number one.
He's the
Give it to me.
best heel in the company right now, isn't he? I mean, is
Yeah,
there a better heel than Dominic?
I mean, if there is one, I can't think of him right now. But
Yeah.
and then my number 30, I actually just changed it because I had Joe Hendry actually as my number 30 because I think he's earned that spot as the new TNT Impact's title holder there at TNA and the working relationship with them at WWE. But I think it's going to be Jacob Fatu at 30. So
yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Because I also think that he is super over, and I will be interested to see what the WWE does with him in the next 6 months. Because I think he's gonna supersede Solo as the top other Bloodline member, whatever they end up doing with the Bloodline, whatever happens in the future.
Do we have any idea what they're gonna? I mean,
I don't know.
So strong, and now I'm just I have no idea what you're doing. You know?
I think that's part of it. I mean, Solo Sikoa kind of feels like an afterthought now. So I don't know. But let's talk about Final Four and who you got winning. Who's your Final Four?
CM Punk, The Rock, Roman Reigns, and let's see. I need another person. Dominic. But Dominic
Mysterio.
That's the whole match, man. Yeah, absolutely. All
I don't hate it,
man.
I don't hate it.
Best heel in the company. Let's do it.
So I also for The Rock. So if The Rock is in this Rumble, he'll be 31.
Yeah. You beat 31. You really think they're going to do the 31 thing?
I think if he's in the Rumble, you're hearing it here first. If he's in the Rumble, he'll be at 31. He will not he's The Rock. I'm part of the ownership company. I can do whatever I want. If I want to be in the Rumble and I want to be 31, I will be. He's the final boss. But I do not think he's going to be at Mania this year. I just think he's going to be out for the WrestleMania. I don't think they're going to be able to get that match. I think he's too busy with his old Hollywood personal life. I think The Rock is unfortunately not going to be in this Rumble. Which really sucks because I was really looking forward to that Rock versus Cody match. But it just doesn't seem like it's going to materialize. As for my Final Four, I got John Cena, Roman Reigns, Damian Priest, and CM Punk as my Final Four. Who do you got winning it? If I didn't lose you. Oh, I lost you there for a second, Brady. There you go.
Sorry.
Oh,
give me okay.
What? Oh, you're at the store. Oh, just jump back. Yeah, so I guess Brady's doing some stuff right now. But I have Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble. Are you good to rejoin, Brady?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
All right,
cool.
Anyway,
sorry,
so
I
was saying I got Roman Reigns winning the entire Royal Rumble. I've gone back and forth on this a bunch of times. I've had CM Punk winning it at some point. I had John Cena winning it at one point, but I'm finally going to rely on Roman Reigns winning the Rumble. I think it's his second Royal Rumble win. I think it's going to be a much different atmosphere when he wins as the head of the table. Because you remember last time he won, they had to roll out The Rock, right? And Roman and The Rock still got booed out of the building.
They got booed. Absolutely.
And I think he's also he's getting way less talked about as a guy like CM Punk and John Cena. And so Roman Reigns for the first time is kind of flying under the radar. I think this is his perfect moment to capture that Royal Rumble win and kind of get that.
So what do you think the crowd reaction is? He throws CM Punk or John Cena or both of them out of the ring.
I think he throws both of them out at the same. I think he throws them both. Right? I think he throws them both out at the same time. Yeah. I think that. I don't know. I mean, I think it's you roll the dice. The fans are going to be mad, right? Real upset. But I think Roman Reigns is so popular at this point. I don't think it'll matter. Like I think he'll get cheers. So that's who I got winning the Rumble. I got Roman Reigns. Who you got winning the Rumble?
Well, look, I'm gonna fanboy it up and go CM Punk, man. I want my guy, to win the Rumble, right? So, I went to the WrestleMania I went to see Daniel Bryan win the whole thing, and he won the whole thing. So, I'm just gonna fanboy it up, And I think that has CM Punk ever won a Raw?
No, he hasn't.
I mean, that WWE, they like to tell.
And I mean, Indianapolis.
They like to tell these stories.
Indianapolis,
and the CM Punk story has been, I got a main event WrestleMania, right?
Yep.
So I think that's a big part of it.
So here's some straight thoughts real quick before we get into surprise entrance. So I don't think CM Punk is going to win this match, and then he also is going to lose the Elimination Chamber. Shout out to Jeff Leahy, actually, who put this thought into my head because I love it. And so for another shot at headlining, Jeff Leahy's a guy I work with, by the way. He's the assignment editor at the station I work at.
Sure.
Anyways, so he loses this match and he loses the Elimination Chamber, but he's got an ace in his pocket, man. He's got that favor that his old friend owes him, and I think he calls out that favor. He gets inserted into the Cody Roman match, and it's a triple threat at Mania. So he gets the headline WrestleMania, and you get to have like CM Punk is always the guy who wins matches. Like he strikes out twice. He's like, how am I going to get into the WrestleMania? How am I going to have my moment? That's how he does it.
Oh, I think that. Well, I like that plan. I like that better than, and they do like to mess around. They don't like a straight line sometimes.
Yeah, and he's got beef with Roman and Cody. Like it would be, I think that would be a killer match at Mania. Like Roman, Cody, Punk in a triple threat match. Let's go.
I don't. I'm not sure they're gonna shoot on a triple threat for Mania. You know what I mean? They like to have two guys. They don't like to. They like to present Mania main event like it's a boxing main event. So, but I'm down. Anything that gets Punk in the main event.
And then as for John Cena,
you have my attention.
As for John Cena, I think he's gonna win the Elimination Chamber.
So but is old man John Cena gonna get the tar beat out of him by Gunther?
Probably.
No. Oh man.
I also think that he loses at Mania. I think that he loses at Mania. He continues to lose.
Oh man. I mean, it is, supposedly in wrestling, it's the job of the older guy to, lose to the younger guys like that, but I'm gonna feel terrible.
Yeah, while watching it, he's getting tired.
Yeah.
I also think that he, if I had to pick a second guy to win the Rumble, I think he's my second vote. Because I think there's so many things you could do with CM Punk to get him into a Rumble match, but I also think the Cody Rhodes Cena match, I think would be gangbuster, and it also could be a changing of the guard, right? You still have Cena lose. I don't think he's winning at Mania, but you have John Cena, this ultimate uber babyface, kind of pass that role over to Cody, who's kind of been John Cena 2.0 ever since he came back to the company. So,
I don't know that they're gonna. I guess it's Cena's last WrestleMania, so you got to be right in the sense that they got to find a main event for him. Yeah. I can't believe it's gonna be Gunther, right?
Wow. He doesn't really have a history with Gunther either. I don't know.
Right.
We'll see. So for surprise entrance, so I got a couple for you real quick. I got Zack Ryder. Although he may come out as Matt Cardona, I don't really know for sure, but I'd like to see him get one more ride in WWE. No pun intended there. I kind of mentioned more earlier with my number 30. Joe Hendry, I think, is a lock to make the Rumble. And then Randy Orton. Randy Orton, I think, is also probably a lot. Like as long as he's healthy enough to go, I think he's a lock. And this is kind of a swerve left field thing. Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers, big wrestling fan as we know. I think Tyrese Halliburton is going to be in the Rumble too.
Will Bad Bunny be in the Rumble?
No.
Well, is it a Bad Bunny Rumble?
No, I don't think so.
Although
I do love Bad Bunny as a wrestler though. He can really go in the ring.
Okay, I have one surprise entrant, but I got to remember his name, and it's terrible because I'm just that bad with names. But who's the announcer that was making all the racket about being thrown out?
Corey
Graves. Yeah,
I do think there's some Corey Graves. I think that could happen.
They're gonna do a Corey Graves and the other guy, Pat McAfee. They're gonna do a Corey Graves Pat McAfee thing at the Rumble. I would set it up for Mania or something. You know,
I would love that if that happened. Like his music, I don't even know what his music would even be. Like Corey
right,
Graves,
right.
He doesn't even go into the Rumble. Like he literally attacks Pat McAfee. And
Like
he doesn't even go into the ring.
He comes out like he's going in, and then he just jumps over and attacks McAfee. Oh my God, that would be so good. Somebody needs to beat up McAfee. You know,
he's been cleared to wrestle, anyway. So he could that potentially could be a thing that happens at Mania. Real quick before we get up out of here, what are you most excited for?
You know, I don't think I've ever seen a ladder match in person like that. So I think I'm most excited to see that ladder match. I've obviously never been to a Rumble, so that's going to be amazing. And you know, I think I'm excited for the whole thing, you know, but I'm really excited for that ladder match. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I have no idea how close or far away we are. I mean, I have a general idea, so I'm hoping we're going to get, you know, I'm hoping you're going to get hit with a ladder while we're there. I think
God. Yeah, I'm really excited to see the Rumble. Yeah, I've never been to the Royal Rumble match, so I'm really excited to that. Also super excited to see you, Brady. I think it's been 7 years or something since we've seen each other, so it's going to be exciting, going to be super fun. So, but yeah, thank you very much. Man. Thank you very much for joining us for the Royal Rumble preview episode. We're going to do a quick recap episode tomorrow where we break down all the matches after I get home. So keep an eye out for all that stuff. This has been On Point Wrestling Entertainment. I'm David On Point Huffman. Right there is Brady Calhoun. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. We are Prime Sports World. And I didn't tell Brady this before the show started, but I asked you, what do we do here at Prime Sports World? And you say, bring the heat. Which we could use here in Fort Wayne. It's a little bit chilly outside. But Brady, what do we do here at the Prime, my friend?
We bring the heat.
There you go. Let's go, baby. I'll see you in a couple hours, man. Drive safe.
All right. Thanks. See ya.
Peace out, guys.